Okay, here it is from the beginning. This is kind of an explanation for everything that's happened. It all started about 3 weeks ago. Me and my friends, we decided to go into a supposed scary house. When we went in the place, it was pretty much empty. Typical things, graffiti on the walls, empty beer bottles, tobacco from shells, people rolling marijuana and smoking it. Nothing creepy though. As we made it our way upstairs though, I walked into a room and immediately I felt a strong cold chill run up my back, which was strange because it was the middle of the summer. We continued to look around, but couldn't find anything interesting, and eventually it got boring. But that cold chill never left my back. When we got home, I walked in. Nothing really eventful happened, so we decided to head home. We all went our separate ways. And a few days later, things started to get strange. The first incident, I walked into my kitchen to grab a soda from the fridge. And as I reached down to grab the soda out of the fridge, when I brought my head up, all the cabinets and drawers in my kitchen were open. Immediately, I put my hands together and said the Our Father prayer. It said, "Leave my house," and I closed all my doors and my drawers. And I went to sleep. Nothing happened for a few days, until about 2:30 in the morning, when I was awoken to the sound of banging on my door. As I stomped down my steps, bitching about who was at my door this late at night. But when I opened the door, I was shocked because no one was there. I walked out front and yelled, "Who is it? What do you want? Why are you fucking with me this early in the morning?" But nobody. No giggles. No nothing. I turned around, walked back in, slammed my door, locked it, and went back to bed. This went on for a few nights. It became irritating. Finally, I decided that I would catch him. I'd sleep downstairs on my couch. And, just like the nights before, loud banging. I jumped up from the couch, ran to the door, and just as the last pound, I pulled the handle. There was no time for anyone to run away, and there was nothing. Again, I said the Our Father prayer and demanded it to leave my house. I then slammed my door and turned around. As my first foot hit the step, the banging started. This time, louder, stronger, more force. As I turned around, the door swung open, and I could hear something stomping towards me. And as it got directly in front of me, all the lights in my house went out. After a few moments, the lights turned back on, and there was nothing there. I was left with a wide open door, my heart racing. The next morning, I immediately headed to the church to speak to Father Joe. But he wasn't in. There was a man that I had never seen before. And I explained my situation to him. And he then asked if I was crazy. And that before the church could even help me, I would have to seek psychological help. And even then, would require a donation of over $5,000. Even though the priest talked to me like I was a crazy person and was somewhat mean and disrespectful to me, he was still a man of God. and I was still in the church. So I held my tongue and I left. I met up with my friends, Rob and Pat. And after explaining my situation, Rob said he had an idea. He would meet me at my place later. Rob came over with a Ouija board. He said if there was some type of spirit that maybe we could talk to it and find out what it wanted. Hesitant, I agreed. We called over a couple more friends, Jason, Eric, and Jeff. We waited until it got dark, and we lit some candles, and we placed our hands in the planchette of the Ouija board, and it began to move. Each of us swore that the other was moving it, but nobody claimed. Then someone asked, "Is there anyone here?" The board quickly moved a yes. I asked, "What do you want?" It spelled out your soul. We asked, "Whose soul?" It spelled out my name. I said, "Why do you want my soul?" It began to spell out, "Because." In anger, I shouted, "Because? Because why?" It spelled out, "Just because." I shouted, "Fuck you, you ain't getting me." Just then the candles blew out, and I felt cold. Hands grabbed me, jerked me forward, just as Jeff jumped up and turned on the light. When the lights came on, there was nothing. We were all sat around a circle in front of a board. Heavily creeped out, we all decided it was best to go out and get a beer, clear our heads. We found ourselves at Mandy's Tavern, my cousin's bar. As soon as I walked in, she knew something was wrong. So she pulled me aside and said, "What's up?" I said, "You don't want to know. Try me. I'm a bartender, remember?" So I told her. She said, "Why didn't you come to me in the first place? Come to my office." We walked in. She sat down at her desk and began jotting something down, an address. She said, "Go to this place. It'll take about a 2-hour drive. You have to go alone, but the old woman will help you. Go now." I said, "I don't even get a beer first?" "Go. I'll entertain your friends." With that, I let the guys know what's going on, and I tell them I'll explain everything when I get back. I jump in the car, and I begin driving. It's really early in the morning when I get there. It took more than 2 hours. I got lost twice, but I found the place. There were old tents and wagon houses all around. And as soon as I pulled up, everybody looked at me as if I was the odd man out. But a woman approached me, older lady. "Come here, boy," she said. "Follow me." We walked into her small shack. She began rummaging through papers.